Oh, welcome to the stream, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. It is Friday, and it is 8 o'clock, so it is time for us for this week to join SketchClub. So if you've been here before, you know that every Friday we do a different topic. And this week's topic came from a new bird. And a new bird has appeared on our giant marshland, and it's called a northern harrier. Now, I didn't know about this bird before until this week, and I'm always loving to discover new species of things and see them, and it's such an amazing hunter. Like, when it was flying on the pond, it's like going around the outside looking for, I don't know, frogs or little mice or something. It's a predatory bird, but I've not seen a bird do this before, where it just kind of like, it has such like dexterity with its wings that it could slow down and then speed up and then just kind of hover and then just sort of move back and forward, and then all of a sudden, and it would get really low down too. It wasn't doing it from really high up. So I think I've seen drops from very high before, but this one would just sort of cruise around all of the reeds and plant life around the edges of the pond. And I'd say it's a good kind of, I don't know, maybe 500 meters from one side to the other sort of thing. So it's going around just looking for these like food, and then it just goes shoo, and just drops straight down into the pond and grabs whatever it's got. And I think it eats it on the ground, because I didn't see it. It stays there for a little while. So maybe it's just a frog or a fish or something. But they're really interesting looking birds, as you'll see in a minute. For me, they kind of look like there's like a mixture of a falcon and an owl. They have this kind of flat part of their face, and then like a beak a little bit like a flat-faced owl. But they're very interesting, and then their body is very much like a hawk. And they stand out quite a lot because they have this, the one we have, I believe, is a female, and she has like a caramel creamy kind of color, and then brown on the back. But let's have a little look. Anyway, if you haven't been here before, welcome. I'm Shane. I am from JR Art Lab. You can check out our website at www.jrartlab.com. We do all kinds of workshops for digital creative production or creative design, whatever you want to call it. So we have filmmaking, photography, script writing, podcasting, graphic design, 3D sculpting, 3D printing, a whole bunch of digital stuff. If you would like to join our sessions, check out the website. Or if you would like a custom session, we do that as well. Check out Creative Coaching. We do that and help you to learn to use particular software. You know, if you're already an artist and you would like to have a digital process. We did a video a little bit like that a while back. It was quite popular, showing about how we kind of create a lot of experiments in digital that we can then take onto a canvas with oil or acrylic or whatever you like to paint with, watercolor. So that was pretty fun. We might have a look at that again at some point. But for today, let's get on over to my screen and have a look at my collection of references. I put the link in the chat there if you want to have a look at the references that I've collected. I haven't really looked at them yet, so I just sort of collect them very quickly, just dropping them in, and let's have a little look together. All right. Oh, a little wolfie. Okay, my little fox is asleep behind me on the couch there. I don't know if you can see him, but he's probably camouflaged in. He's on a red couch, and he's kind of red-orange, and does he have a light on? No, he doesn't have the light on today. I should put the light on. Hold on. There we go. Nothing like a little bit of light. Maybe I can make it flash. Is that flashing? Flashing, flashing, changing, changing. There we go. Well, that might drive you crazy, right? Maybe we won't have it flashing. He's asleep there, and it might be really annoying to try and sleep while you've got color changing lights. Cool for YouTube, but not so cool if you're trying to take a nap. So let's have a look here at our Northern Harrier. So here you can see how I said it's kind of got this like, this reminds me so much of an owl, and depending on how you're looking at it, it looks really flat. And I think there's some variation like that. You see the face is very owl-like, but then the body is kind of like a falcon. I think they're kind of big, but also kind of small. They're not like we've got a couple of bald eagles in the pond as well, so definitely not as big as those guys. But look at that, isn't that a cool bird? Such a cool bird. All right, I hope you're enjoying wildlife as much as I do. By the way, if you would like to suggest a topic for another week, you can email me or you can comment in the video. We would love to hear what you would like us to draw. And if you want to send your work in too, you can do that, or you can tag it with hashtag ArtLab or hashtag SketchClub ArtLab. All right, that looks pretty cool. I like that we can see the legs there. It looks kind of strange, doesn't it, seeing the legs this far forward? Long legs there. Okay, so what we usually do is we'll cut this down. We'll pick out some... Now the male is this one, and the female is this one. So we have a female here. She's more like this kind of creamy color. That one looks kind of bluish, but I think that might be the photography. Yeah, this kind of creamy color, and then she's kind of more brown, but I think she has a lighter face. This is the male. They look a little bit different, eh? We were just talking about how often in birds the male is the pretty one, but there's certain birds where the female is the pretty one and the male's kind of the grey guy, and I think this is one of those birds. Okay, so this looks amazing. Look at this. Beautiful. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll start pulling out ones that we like. I definitely like that one. We didn't get a close-up on that one, but I've seen that one. That one really jumped out at me in the beginning because it looks like the color of the one that we have living out the back. I might put that one over there too. That one looks funny. That looks almost like a meme. It's like he's going, what? Or, are you sure about that? That's pretty funny. It's a cool expression. Okay, that looks very much like our one. So, I often pick things, if you haven't been here before, we are living in Canada and we homestead, so we have like gardening and animals and stuff, and we have art, and those are kind of our two, or creative projects. Those are kind of our two main. Look at this one. Here we go. Interesting there to have a look at the simplification of the illustration for that one. That looks pretty nice too. Now you can get this from that is not one, I don't think. That is like a turkey vulture or something. Is it? We have a lot of turkey vultures too. Oh, I like the open mouth. Oh, and he's got a little snack there. Okay, let's put that one over. What was I just talking about? Oh yes, you can get the reference board from the chat if you would like to have a look. You obviously do not have to do the same one as me. That looks like the color palette I like. Okay, and what else have we got here? This looks cool too. Look at that. I really like that pose. Something interesting about that pose. It feels very like captured but dynamic. Something's about to happen. This one's nice too. It looks like a mama. It's interesting how their face is so like an owl, but also then when they turn sideways you get this type of shape. But in the front it looks, because of this border, I guess, that it looks like it's flattened. Such an interesting bird. Okay, we might do this next week, so could be a bit of a spoiler here if you're looking at joining us next week. We also saw our first kingfisher. What was it? Ruffled kingfisher, or something starting with T. What's the word? I can't remember what it is. Threaded? No. Tufted? Something kingfisher we saw this week. Very cool. And Brian got this amazing shot. Our photography teacher got this amazing shot with a bittern, which we have done before here, I think, on the channel. We did a bittern, and in the bittern, in one side is the bittern, and on the other side is the kingfisher. But they're in the same photo. Like they were in the same spot, which I thought was pretty cool. It is very cool. You almost, if someone didn't tell you, you might not even see the bittern because the kingfisher is bright blue. So it stands out, and you think when you look at the photo, oh, that's the subject matter of the photo. But when you look closely, you see the other bird hiding in the side. Hiding in plain sight, I guess. All right, let's just have a little look through here and see if there's anything I missed. I like the lighting on this guy. I do like that one is that the one with the long legs? Yeah, I like that one. It's also a very dynamic looking pose. Okay, this one's a good illustration. Maybe that one that I deleted was the male, and that's what it looks like as it gets older. I think it was. I thought it was a different bird, but it's gone now, so we will not worry about it. That's nice too. Not great resolution, I think, on that shot. That one's pretty good. I feel like I didn't see these ones. Okay, let's take that one. Alright, let's look at our cut down. Okay, that one straight away strikes me with that color and the position. Maybe a combination of these two. And let's put this one here. If we're not doing flying, if we're going to do standing, I think we can see a bit more of the bird. And this one, and this one. That one's standing. We'll move the flying one up. Now, I forgot to mention this, but, well, I not forgot, I'm telling you now. You can sketch with whatever you want. You don't have to do this in digital. If you're just joining us for the first time, you can do this in your sketchbook, or you can do it on your iPad, whatever it is that you'd like to draw with. Our goal here is just to just keep drawing, keep improving, and to do some different subject matters. You know, maybe you wouldn't draw this bird because you might not know it exists, or something might never come into your world about this bird, but we are perusing various subject matters at the same time. Okay, so those two almost look like the same bird, hey? Alright, so I'm working in Clip Studio, but yes, you can use Photoshop, you can use Procreate, you can use whatever it is that gets you going. Now I do have a canvas texture on my palette here, which we'll probably get rid of for a little bit and bring back later on, maybe. We'll see. Let me see how this brush goes. I'm gonna do a pencil brush, 3Bs I like. Alright. Now. Oh, okay. So, let's think a little bit about our composition first. I like the head facing back that way. Like a 3/4. Alright, that might be a little bit hard for you to see there. Let me just lighten this background piece of paper up a little bit. And we might put this down the bottom. And we'll come back and play with the settings of that in a bit, like a little bit later on. Alright. Oh, got to go back now. We're going to name this one to SK for skateboard. And look at those bright yellow claws. Why do so many birds have that bright yellow or bright orange claw? There's a reflection on my screen here. How do I look actually? I should have possibly moved that camera around. Am I a bit blurry? That's not too bad. Alright. I heard something this week in a podcast that when you're working on web cameras, you should never have the camera, you should always have it looking directly at you, because it makes it have more intimacy. And I then started thinking about that when I was watching some videos, and I can see that's possible. Well, it probably is. The lady that was talking about it was obviously a very well studied therapist, psychologist or something. Okay, so we want to have a little bit of a ridge here. Charlie Seal. Rest time, go girl. That happens sometimes with my pencil. Oh well, I like the first part of the line, but when I go to lift it off, it just gives me a little bit of a trail. I should mess with the settings on it, but almost like a squarish sort of circle there. A circle, a soft cornered circle, a soft cornered square, sorry. Does anybody know what it is about birds? What is it about birds that gets us? I've noticed it on TikTok. I've noticed on TikTok people are making these videos that say, you know, oh, I'd rather spend my time watching birds than hanging out with other people. What is it about birds that's got everybody? It's really interesting. I think I don't think my family, at least my parents, when my parents were in their 30s and 40s, I don't think they were interested in birds as much as what a lot of people seem to be interested in birds now. Okay, I'm probably spending too much time on this drawing. Okay, I'm gonna square up the toes a little bit because I feel like it makes it a bit more grabby and aggressive. That one has one of my chickens has a claw like that. I swear, she has this massive talon, and I was holding her today. And when I put her down, I was like, "Oh wow, we've got to cut your nails, girl. You're gonna tear my fingers off." If you want to follow our homesteading journey, you can check out Satori, Satori Art Homestead. That's where you can find out what sort of plants we're growing and what sort of berries I just planted this week. No, was it this week? Could have been end of last week. You know, it was last week because I did the live stream last week was about the plants. 25-ish fruit trees, and then today I've been out in the garden. A very kind friend of mine, shout out Valerie, thank you for all your gifts, just gave me a bunch of raspberries, and I absolutely love raspberries. And yeah, I started planting them in today. You know, I think it's really amazing how when people are in the country, it's just like there's just this nice, I don't know how to explain it, but people are often sharing their like extra plants that they have, or plants that they would throw out, giving them to someone else. I think that's so nice. You know, when they're cleaning up their rows, as they say. I think I'm going to tilt that leg a little bit more there. Okay, now we need to get some paint on this canvas, and we need to think about our bush. I really like this feeling of this like other bush that's here that feels a bit like the claws. I think that's pretty cool. I'm changing the composition from a landscape-ish to a portrait, and I might go a little bit more like these longer. This looks a bit like a raspberry or a bramble. Shout out to me if you know, or let me know if you know, what is the difference between brambles and raspberries? Is brambles just like a word that means like bush? Like, are they all bushy things kind of brambles, or I do like that. Okay, let's have some more of this. Okay, that's too close to the other one to have such a similar shape. And if they curve up, they curve up. If they curve down, they curve down. You can't have some curving up and some curving down, or it's a different tree. Right. Okay, so we need something for you to be standing on that's a little bit thicker. 1, 2. Alright, that'll do it. Okay, so we're going to drag this guy up to the top, and we'll make it right at the top. There's our canvas texture. Let's have a look at our color palette. We're going to need to make a new color palette because that does not look like what we want. Great photograph, this photograph. I love the colour. Okay, so I'm going to steal that. I'm going to empty this palette. And let's start off with some medium. Actually, I'm gonna have a look at putting in. Let's see what that looks like. Some cool colors. Let's get some brownies. Oh, brownies. Hey. That should get us going. I don't think I quite have the colour I want for the feet though. Okay, we'll go darker. Alright. Now I'm just going to be painting today. Let's try with the oil paintbrush. We'll just check on our layers first because I want to make sure I'm not on the sketch layer. Alright, let's just block in some big stuff. That is a good colour. We didn't put down many greys. Alright. I think I'd like a bit redder than that. Let's see. Yep. Ooh, opacity's down. There we go. There's a kind of superhero that has that owl. What is that guy called? Let's put a little bit of BG in, because I feel like a bit of playful, relaxing. Let's do it. Okay, so let's go here. How are we doing for time? Wow, it's already 15 minutes to go. I gotta start talking a little bit less and painting earlier. I thought I was prepared well today. You know, some days I have to. When we first started, I used to look up the photos first, and that used to take a while. So, alright, let's try. I'm gonna switch this to that for a little bit so we can see it. Now I do think it would be fun to get some dark blue shadows in there. There is a lot of blue in the bottom section. Squinting. Squinting is my best friend. That one's getting a little bit out of control, isn't it? big one here, and we had another big one up here somewhere. Top for a little bit. Let's get a bit yellower. That's not a very nice yellow at all. Let's go oranger and brighter. What's this? Oops, we lost some stuff. Oops. Yeah, that yellow is terrible. I'm gonna have to fix that now. Yes, ugly yellow be gone. We're gonna have to redo those branches. Clearly, that made a mess of those branches. I probably should have put those on a different layer, but yeah. Is that still some of that terrible orange? Alright. Let's go back to Bird for a little bit. Oh, I need to fix those sticks. let's put a little bit of... Alright, let's go back to Bird. Oh, we changed layers? Yes, we did. Good. Back to brush, please. just see that other wing there, I think, from the other side. And am I mad or have I lost a leg? I did lose a leg. How did I lose a leg? Alright, we're running out of time here, so it's probably time to start sacrificing. Sacrifice him, what we need and what we don't need to finish this baby off. We can go a little bit longer. Okay, let's get... Let's have a look at this eye. Let's get rid of our sketch layer for a bit. Oh. Well, she's coming along, but I think she needs a little bit more work here. to call it a day. It's 9:05 and the rules say Sketch Club is an hour. And, well, not really. We can do whatever we want. But, let's give it a couple more minutes here. Alright, what do I really have to change? That's the question. I really have to change these little flicky bits here, because I like those flicky bits. Little fluffies. And I think I want to get this more. Darker bits in here. My eye got a little bit big. Now we've completely ditched the sketch. But I think we're going to call that a day. Maybe a little bit of light. And brush. Oh. A little more saturated, a little bit brighter. I should have blended out the bottom. Alright, we're calling it a day. Thank you for joining us for Sketch Club this week. If you would like to suggest a topic as mentioned before, you can email me. My email is above my head. If you would like to share us your video, you can also share us your sketch. You can also do that. We will have a new topic for next week. And we will see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I hope you enjoyed our Northern Harrier session today. I will see you next week. Goodbye. Bye. Oh.